Behind you! Look out! Light elves don't often travel underneath the barrens, do they?
Territory changes hands often in Nalfheim, or so it appears.
Big Veer did mention that these ruins have historical significance for the Light Elves. I assume they're only here to keep intruders out.
Well, at least they tried.
I suspect the corpse below would disagree. Good eye. Let's continue, shall we?
Incoming poison! Up above! Goodrich!
Behind you! Look out!
The Alpha! I hope freeing these Hofgufas will allow them to breed again. It was a dazzling display once. The skies of Alfheim filled with their song.
I imagine it's the lack of fresh light that's caused this pair to grow abnormally large. No use in having babies if there's nothing for them to feed on.
Trying to protect their children from a harsh world. I can relate. wonder if these two comprehend the choice they face in the street.
What choice do you speak of?
The life cycle of the Hofgufa. In order to breed, they must pass on their light to their children.
And without light, they will die.
I suppose that's all any of us can hope for. That our death has purpose. That we can live on through our children. Given another chance. You know which. Well done. Time to set it loose.
Aye. Back to the surface then. On your left! Take it off, man! You've got this! Behind you! Look out!
The Alpha!
A pipe.
Used in many of things, I imagine.
The fate of these creatures reminds me of a story.
Does it?
There once was a blacksmith whose king commanded him to construct a box that could contain all the evils of the world. But no metal could hold such a power. So the blacksmith used the flame of...
Kratos, is this a story meant to ease my grief?
Perhaps it is just a story. A way to pass the time.
I appreciate it, but... well, your stories...
What about my stories?
I wouldn't exactly call them a comfort.
Fair. Mimir is the better storyteller.
Now don't sell yourself short, brother. You've come a long way from the days of laconic fables.
It's okay. Finish your story, Kratos.
The blacksmith's daughter was the key to unlocking the box. He died trying to protect her from those who would open it.
Well, at least it's a relatable story.
It appears we've overstayed our welcome in our fight.
Time to end this storm.
take solace in knowing you did what you thought was best for your son's safety. Even these creatures know. There is little choice for a parent. You are not alone.
I'm not, am I? And now neither are they.
Well, didn't know I could get misty. It's beautiful.
Thank you, Kratos. This land sings once more. We've done good here.
No rush to leave yet, is there? Who knows what kind of adventures await us in a freshly lit Barrens?
One more for the tree. A statue of my brother. How quaint.
That's odd. The runes are dark.
What purpose does all this serve, other than a testament to my brother's vanity?
Difficult to say without an inscription. But it looks like the elves built this place together, light and dark. Which means this would have been their first act of cooperation in generations. A far cry from lasting peace, but perhaps it served as a monument. One that symbolizes the potential for peace.
This statue may have survived Freya's absence, but a truce clearly did not. Monuments are useless to those who ignore their message.
He didn't create a truce through diplomacy alone. His godhood, his very presence is what healed this land and allowed peace to take root. But once he left, he had to have known what would happen.
Well, he had good reason to leave. Some jackass convinced his sister to marry a madman.
You said monuments are useless. Why restore this one?
It was hidden for some time. Perhaps now it can serve as a reminder.
Aye. Nothing reminds people of their history like chiseled, well-lit marble. Looks like we can read the inscription now as well.
light from the crystals. It is in the sand now.
Would you look at that? Freyr's gift endures after all. Or should I say... his presence.
You are not funny.
Even when Freyr was actually here, the peace was fragile. Surely a bit of extra light in the desert isn't enough to make it last.
Before I met Faye, I could not imagine a life of peace. After her death, in our travels to Jotunheim, I found peace on my own. It remains my responsibility to make it last.
Perhaps the elves will find peace again one day, even without Freyr's guidance.
His presence continues to guide them, whether they...
Well, lady, I was curious about some of the flora we've encountered on our travels.
And you will remain curious. It's not my job to teach you everything, Mimir.
Look, I was just asking.
And you have been told.
Oh, you can say that again.
A dawn bloom. You have an interest in botanicals now? Another raven freed.
Another sleeping troll, courtesy of the dwarves. Brother, in my travels, I heard of a great battle in your homeland, at a place called the Gates of Fire.
The Hut Gates.
You were there?
No.
Is that regret in your voice?
I did regret not dying there for many years, but no longer.
Another key, eh? Sooner or later, we're gonna have to find a lock to put them in.
A light elf statue in the desert. Odd.
On top of ancient elven ruins?
What is that?
A phantom! Room magic! Aim for the runic core!
Bloody hell, look at that thing!
Yelpa! Attack the spring! Hurry before it recovers! That won't work yet!
Make yourself opening! Don't waste it!
Yelpa!
Make yourself opening! Don't waste it! Well, yet another gift of Fimbulwinter, I suppose.
The magic draining out of all of us has to end up somewhere.
Ah, another of Kvasir's poems.
I don't see any signs of battle, just the end of one. Light elf graves. But why here and not in the temple?
A fair question.
With no clear answer. Jewelry.
Oh? Put it on one of my horns. Let's see if I can pull it off.
No.
Elven library.
An archive of knowledge.
No sign of the Light Elves.
For now.
Maybe they've left for the day, and we can browse at our leisure. So, these are the Valine schematics, eh?
You know of him.
Aye. One of the most gifted dwarven smiths around. Until he developed a conscience, anyhow.
These texts alone are not enough to end the Elven War. But restricting their access only serves those who wish to prolong it.
Taking a page out of Odin's book.
Aye. Quite the advantage for the Light Elves.
This book is sealed, but there is an inscription. Consul.
Big Veer spoke of an exile of the same name. Odds are he'd like a gander at that particular text.
All this knowledge of their ancestors. Their shared history, poetry. Just sitting here. Forgotten. What a waste.
Stratha.
Ah, it appears the librarian would like a word.
Lata Framborg.
Sounds like she wants that journal back.
No.
Use a shield strike, brother! Nasty hit! You alright, brother?
They're healing!
Ljósalfa. Thought. Megivita. Helga brought him up.
She thinks she's protecting them by hiding all this knowledge away.
Our ally wishes to read this journal. We are taking the book.
I'm impressed. Thought you were going to end her.
When last we traveled here, after Faye passed, I killed an elf of great importance. The ramifications were dire for his people. I do not wish to make the same mistake twice.
Freya, do you mind picking up that story about your brother? You mentioned a giant had come to Vanaheim to teach you the Bifrost.
Yes, Girth. Freyr became immediately infatuated with her. He always yearned to wander, and along came someone who could truly show him how. So, wander they did, exploring the World Tree from root to branch. But one day, it came time for Girth to wander away. Freyr was heartbroken, and resolved himself to perform some great feat to win her back. He set his aim on the grandest of gestures. He intended to be the first to find the elusive source of Bifrost light by accident. Freyr believed he navigated best while fortified by a potent blend of Vanir herbs. When he wandered, he wandered. And he managed to wander from the World Tree directly into the Lake of Souls. The elves have never seen anybody come out of the lake before, so it got some attention.
Oh, that is bloody hilarious.
I don't know whether he worked his charms at that point or they just assumed him to be a great deity. But of course, he hadn't made this journey in search of responsibility, so he didn't stick around long. Still, the legend of his manifestation was passed along through the ages. It even endured after the Great Division, remembered by Light and Dark Elf alike. So when at last he returned, he was uniquely situated to gain the trust of both sides and help to create a truce. The problem was, both sides trusted only him, so the peace could only last as long as he stayed around to keep it. And with the long war dragging on without an end in sight, I suppose making any kind of peace was an irresistible notion for him, even if it meant having to rule.
Hit the light orb! Yelpa!
Watch your right!
Light Elf architecture. Massive. Something is coming. And it's not happening.
A drake! Yelpa!
Go!
there?
Your guess is as good as mine. Imprisoning a Drake. Can't decide whether to be impressed or horrified.
Either way, it is over now. A token.
A badge of honor. The elves made a few of these. They'd hang them up outside their dwellings. Show their support for their brother. That's all my brothers could do.
Shall we hang on to them?
Do what you will. If Freya didn't bother taking them when he left Iceland, he wouldn't mind us selling them for dwarves.
Brother, get up! Brother!
Come on, Kratos, get up! This is a fine mess. Come on, Kratos! Off your back!
Perhaps we can bring these two animals back to Vanaheim, or Midgard even. Becky and Spanna could use the company. We have kennels.
It would not go well for them. Once a predator becomes accustomed to a land, it is cruel to move them.
I suppose you're right. It just seems lonely out here.
It is peaceful. They have each other. It is enough.
You know, Freyr loved to breed Gulan pups in Vanaheim. I wonder if these two are the descendants of the Gulan he brought here long ago.
That explains how they got to the desert. Another gift for the Dark Elves. I wonder, how'd these two pups end up yoked to the sled?
Ever try flying in a sandstorm? I imagine Freyr showed the Dark Elves that Gulan could be trained to pull a plow. They must have found new uses for them once the sandstorm arrived. I imagine they're now bred to aid in traveling the surface.
That armor looks like Lunda's design. I can fix it up for you if you like. Anything for Freya? Hope it's to your liking. What'll it be? Wear it with pride. I'll heat up the forge. The stream of anguish. The elves would kill for this. And for the Valkyrie Queen?
Can this lock be opened without damaging the book? The elves in Freya's camp wish to read it.
Oh, a locked book, you say? How mysterious. And an elven lock. Intriguing. If your friends in Vanaheim want it, I'll get it open and pass it along with your regards. They're a lovely couple.
Our souls transformed, our minds remained, until those two perverted became.
Well, brother, before you see the lad again, might we discuss an approach?
He will tell me where he has been. That is my approach.
Ah, classic Spartan diplomacy.
Wait. Did you say Odin invited him to Asgard, and then he disappeared for 2 days?
Aye, but surely the lad's got more sense than to...
Don't underestimate Odin's powers of persuasion. He filled my son's head with lies. Why wouldn't he do the same with yours?
Tell that one-eyed nutsucker he owes me one.
Fight me now and eternally.
Well, looky there. Glad you can make the trip, your goddessness. I put your signal.
Hello. Good to see the chimes.
Who else are we likely to encounter amongst your detachable emotional apparitions?
Well, there's certainly no avoiding anxiety. Oh no. Why are you talking about me? What did I do?
Oh, you should have heard the shit they were talking. Savage.
What? Oh dear, oh dear. There was no such talk. Shame on you, Bitter. Are you sure? Yes, Anxious. No opprobrium to be found in this discourse. I was merely making your acquaintance with our adventuring friends here. Ah! People! Well, there it is. Should I have anything else for you, you'll be the first to know.
Away with you already!
Talks to squirrels now, huh? Anyway, I don't rightly know who's yelling at who in there, but I figure they both got it coming. Well, come on, then. Hey, Tyr! Wake up! You got company. Now, why don't you just make yourself at home in Sindri's so-called study over yonder?
You're sure he won't mind?
Mind? He'll be